And welcome back to an amazing new episode of Inspired TV with Karie Millspaugh, where we find solutions in our situation. And today in my hot seat, I have Travis Barton here from Huntington Beach, California, one of my favorite spots to play, right next door from Las Vegas. So how are you, Travis? Great to have you today.
I'm doing amazing. Well, thanks for having me on. I'm pretty excited right now.
Yes, Travis is excited.
Yeah.
We were just hanging out a little bit before I hit live, and he's lots of fun, and you guys will enjoy today's episode. Lots of golden nuggets we'll give you guys today too. So Travis is a life coach, and some of you may not know what that is exactly. Most of you have heard of Tony Robbins, of course, and in fact, that's how I describe myself. I'm just a blonde Tony Robbins. Some people just don't understand what a coach does. So, Travis, tell us how you got into this industry. What pulled you into life coaching?
Coaching. Ever since I was little, I wanted to, help people. I always loved motivating and giving pep talks and talking to people and kind of working through problems and listening. And I had this great dream as a child going through grade school that I even wanted to change the world at some point. And so I kind of kept that, through my 20s, and I always knew I wanted to do that. I just wasn't sure exactly how. And one day, one fateful day, I was at the time I was bartending at a cigar lounge, and this guy came in. I think he was the only guy at the bar all day, and he was smoking a cigar, and we got to talking, and we were sharing travel stories just all day for my whole 6-hour shift, just sharing travel stories. And as fate would have it, he came back in again the next day, and I said, "Man, what do you do for a living that you get to travel like this all the time?" And he says, basically along the lines of, I help people achieve their dreams and their goals in life. And it was one of those moments where it just kind of clicks, and you go, "Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's it." And ever since then, it's just been a constant journey since then of discovery and just learning and being mentored and just researching and working with clients personally. It's ever since then, it's just my life changed in that single instance. The one guy, and I should bring up his name. His name's George Joyce. Actually, a really great guy. You might want to check him out. He's a coach himself and just an amazing human being. So yeah, that's how I got into it. So,
George Joyce,
yeah.
Duly noted. It's nice that our universe paths kind of cross with the right people, and then that light bulb moment shows up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So since then, of course, and I have to put it out there because a lot of people are like, that sounds like fun. I want to be a life coach too. Really, what does it take? Think about the clients you work with. What sort of mindset you need to be in to work with people? Kind of explain what a life coach really does behind the scenes, because it's not all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, well, there's running the business, and there's that side of it too. It's just like running any other business, So that was a part of discovery for me as well. As far as coaching, most of the people that sign up with me are already ready for growth, already ready for change, drastic change. Most of the time, most of the clients I work with are really ready to just do incredible things with their life. I've worked with people. I started with one girl who was in Europe, and she just was lost. I think she was turning 30, and she was lost in life. She didn't know what she wanted to do, and she came to me just wanting more balance, wanted to be happier, and that was it. And it turns out now she was at a job she really didn't like, and now she's actually traveling the world, taking photographs for a living, writing her book. And so it's just that kind of change. You never know where it's going to take you sometimes. Sometimes I have clients that know exactly where they want to go, which is a lot of fun because you just bring that at a much more rapid pace. You're allowing that to happen, So all over the place.
I agree, 100%. It's a lot of fun when you see the results that you can achieve through your clients. Very fulfilling. I'm sure you can agree with me on that, where when your client has a good day, you have a good day.
It warms my heart, honestly. Yeah. Even just thinking, just you get, you ever get those chills, when you're working with a client, and you just feel good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a price tag on that because, I always wake up like, this is my kind of mindset. Not what do I have to do today, but how do I want to feel today is really how I shift things over. What do I want to feel like? I want to feel powerful. I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel of value and worth to my clients. And it's not even about what they're paying me. It's just, have I reached that level with them today? And it's It's my drug of choice too.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a choice too. You said you want to be powerful, or like if you wake up out of bed and you get out of bed and you say I want to be happy, that is a choice that you can make every single day. I mean, there's certain practices that go along with it, but it absolutely is a choice. Be powerful, be happy, be content.
You just wrote a great blog about that and about choosing happiness in your day. I think you mentioned something about waking up on the wrong side of the bed, and we've all had those days.
Yeah.
My method is just stay in the fucking bed. Just stay in bed. It's not going to get any better. Just stay there.
Is it really?
The feeling goes away.
I can't imagine you doing that. I picture you as somebody who just jumps right out.
Oh, no.
5 minutes before the alarm even goes off. I would bet.
No, I've got you all fooled. I'm totally not a morning person at all. At night, I come to life, but in the morning, not so much.
Yeah, I want the best of both worlds. I want to be up late, and I'm a night guy, but I also love being up in the morning. I surf and everything, so it's a struggle every day, But
no, sleep is just such a waste of time. Why do we have to do that?
I'm reading a book, actually. Funny you bring it up. I'm reading, I don't know, Tim Ferriss? Mm-hmm. Tim Ferriss, he wrote a book called The 4-Hour Body, and there's an entire chapter in that book about sleep and how he's gotten down to 2 hours of sleep a day at a certain point in his life, and he was able to do that for a few months. And so I'm very interested in that chapter right now on how to get down into that. So pretty interesting.
Because I'm like you, I want the best of both worlds. I do love to watch the sunrise and the sunset, and I want it all.
Even we're dead, right? It's just getting out of bed. That's the hard thing.
The bed wasn't so damn comfortable.
Right.
That's what I need to do.
That might be the ticket. Make your bed a little less comfortable.
Sleep on the floor.
Yeah, right.
So give us some tips. Take us back to that blog about happiness, like when we do have those days, because this is what a life coach works with people on. So kind of walk us through what we should do if our attitude starts to go sideways.
Yeah, so happiness is like we talked about, it's a choice. So something you decide to do every single day. So there's a few kind of practices that are good to do on a daily basis. And especially, I read a book years ago, actually a gift from my mother. It was The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama. I'm sure you've read it, have you?
I've heard of it, but I've not read it.
It shook me entirely, because that's when I had learned that happiness was a choice. And it was it seemed new agey to me, and I don't know, it's probably nothing to this. It's probably just new age nonsense, just a self-book, And I promised myself I would apply these practices into my life, and it worked incredibly. I mean, just incredibly, within a span of a day, really. So, I remember the big thing to me was gratitude. So to be grateful for what I already had in my life. And I'll never forget reading that, because I immediately began to apply it in my life. Things would happen, maybe not so nice things. Somebody would make a disparaging remark about me, or there might be traffic on the freeway, and I would, normally we would get frustrated at traffic, but hey, man, at least I had a car. At least I was going to a job, and I had all of these things. And so gratitude is the big thing. And the other big thing, I think, is to actively pursue things that make you happy. I was just talking with a client. No man who is actively in pursuit of his what makes him happy is ever miserable. So it's an active pursuit to do things that make you happy, and this might be something small. Sometimes I'll fake a smile, on the street. I'll just start smiling, and it kind of feels cheesy at first, but then eventually you actually do feel really good, and you start to notice other people smiling back at you. You're more open. People are talking to you more. All of these things, and just the big thing is you just become more at peace with everything. It is what it is, almost. So actively pursue things that make you happy. And be grateful. Put things in perspective. I think those are the big tickets.
I think you said in the blog, "Fake it till you make it."
Yeah. So smile. It feels so ridiculous. When you're just starting out. And so we talked about getting out of bed on the wrong side of the bed, and you can feel that kind of day just getting ready to present itself to you. You just, I don't want to do this today. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. So you just start smiling, and maybe I'll call a friend or something that makes me happy, or I'm actively in pursuit of these things. So I'm always doing something that's going to make me happy. Always. Fake it till you make it, right? So just smile. You do this. You know this. I know you know this.
Fake it. I'll make my daughter like fake laugh until she laughs for real.
Oh wow! You've ever heard of laughing yoga?
Yes.
Laughter yoga or something like that.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah. And
That's
it's so
very
funny.
healing. That's really healing for sure.
Years ago, and I thought it was just such a joke, and then you kind of apply those things to your life, and you realize they're onto something. It really does work. You know, it really does.
Shifts your vibration up. I don't think people realize the vibration part of being at a certain level. When you're down in the dumps, you're just attracting more shit. It just keeps showing up. You're like, man, I'm with the bottom feeders down here. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, you're perpetuating that by being grumpy yourself, or being a jerk, or going through your day. Think about it. Nobody who's worth anything is ever going to want to hang out with somebody that's just a grump, just always miserable, just kind of a jerk all day. You know, the more of a jerk you are, the more jerks you're going to meet in your life. Right.
You like attracts like, and I heard that for years. Lucky for me, I was trained by one of the world's most well-known business coaches years ago. I started working with him. He's like, Karie, like attracts like. I'm like, what the fuck does he keep saying that for? You know, it was like, didn't hit me at that time. It was not quite at that level. And I think I was bitching about my dating life at that time. And I'm like, oh, he's telling me I'm shit. I keep attracting shit.
Yeah, in a nice way of saying it.
In a nice way.
You're a horrible person, and that's why you're meeting horrible people.
I know. Thank you
I
for
wish I could have seen that moment of realization.
I was like, wow, this doesn't feel so good, this information.
But it works, right? I mean, you start to feel better. You actively pursue things that make you feel good, and you feel better, and guess what? You meet amazing people. It seems bananas, but it's so legit. It really is.
Yeah. I like that saying, be the person you want to meet, you know, and that's, again, goes back to that attraction thing. So
absolutely.
By all means. It works well in our industry too with clients and people you want to work with. You know, you start to attract certain type of client, and then those go away, and then you start to attract another client. It has a lot to do with who we are too, so what we're going through in that moment. So
absolutely.
Something to think about. So so fake it till you make it, be grateful, and actively pursue your happiness.
That's I would say that was a starting point. You know, you don't want to kind of overwhelm people in the beginning. You know, and I've worked with clients that frankly just want to be happy, and so you'll give them practices, and you start small. You know, and that's actually that small start has such a big impact. You know, almost immediate too.
Right. They don't even know why they're coming to you. They're just like, I'm not happy. I want what you're having because you seem happy.
Right, yeah. Well, I've had that too, yeah. Which is humbling too. It's very nice, you know.
Well, that's why you got to kind of live it. It's kind of goes back to what I was saying before, what it takes to be a life coach, the being part. You know, the be, do, have formula that we use a lot. Sometimes we forget to just be that person. That's all you got to do every day is just be that person. So talk to me a little bit about the mindset, and of course I'll add my 2 cents too, of coaching and what kind of space you need to be at. I mean, right before you do a coaching call or a session with a client, do you do any rituals, or do you get your head right? Do you do a shot? What do you need to do before?
It's funny. There's a number of things. So I feel good when I do certain things. So I want to make sure I'm in a position where I'm feeling at my best. And frankly, we're all human, you know. Oh my God, you're a life coach. You just must be on top of it all the time. No, you know, I just know the practices and how to work it out to get to that point. No, I'm not always like that. So whatever makes me feel good. So, for example, I'll go to the gym. Anytime I'm coming out of the gym, I feel amazing. I'll go surf before. I might even just listen to music. Lately, I've been really into the music of Hans Zimmer, listening to the Interstellar soundtrack, and I'll do that, and I'll just get really pumped up. And you know, I go back to my little 8-year-old self. I'm gonna change the world. You know, you're ready to do that. I want to be in that headspace before every meeting with every one of my clients. You know, I want to get them I want to rock their world. Frankly, that's what I want to do.
I love it. I love it, because what you just shared with us is how you raise your vibration, which was another question I was going to ask you, which now we know. Okay. So gym, music, nature. Of course, I would like to just jump out of an airplane every morning. Forget coffee. I mean, yes.
Done it?
There's very few stunts I've not done. I've even flown a stunt plane twice, but I'm an adrenaline junkie.
That's incredible. Yeah, me too. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you will, because there's a whole marketing launch coming up in a couple months on it. But
Wow.
yeah,
Now you got to get into base jumping.
I haven't done that. I've just jumped off the stratosphere here in Las Vegas a few years ago, but that's not really a base jump. It's kind of lame.
It qualifies for the normal person, I would imagine, right?
It's a controlled fall.
Right.
You only can go 50 miles an hour, so.
Yeah. That's one of my dreams. Actually, I also, my brother and I, we wanted to become base jumpers at some point. So we started getting our skydive certifications and everything, and then, things happen. But It's a long process. So just, and we weren't that into it at a certain point. So.
Yeah, you have to really want. If you can't stop thinking about it, you need to do it. You need to put it on your bucket list.
Yeah, we got our kick, and I think jumping out of enough airplanes kind of fulfilled us pretty well. So I think we were pretty set on that. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll take it back up.
Absolutely. I think it's the best way to start out a day. It's like, who needs coffee? I'm good to go.
Every morning, just jumping out of a plane? Oh, please sign me up.
That's right. I'm here. You're still in your flight suit.
Right.
I have arrived.
You're doing sessions on the phone in the airplane right before you're getting ready to jump out. Like, hey, give me 5 minutes. I have to jump out of this airplane. What? Like, hang on.
Be right back.
Yeah.
It's in the book I'm writing. The book I'm writing is called I Overcome: My Journey to Feeling Bulletproof, and I did 18 months of just stupid stuff. I just made myself do an adventure every month that I either had wanted to do, some stuff I was super scared of. Yeah. But it's interesting when you take that to a different level, it carries over into everything else in your life. You're playing bigger, so your financials start to go up. I was making more money. My relationships were awesome. It was just 18 months of bliss. And trust me, some shit I was terrified to do, like whitewater rafting. I had to get a life coach to help me do whitewater rafting.
Really?
Yeah, that was the only thing I was afraid of.
How did this life coach help you with whitewater rafting?
Well,
is that the scariest thing you did? That's what I want to ask you too. The scariest thing with whitewater rafting, really?
Yeah, jumping out of the
plane.
More
than jumping out of an airplane.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
What is a Category 5 full day event? It wasn't like, woo, we're just floating down the river.
Yeah. That's pretty intense. Yeah.
There's serious rapids, like people falling out of the boat and raft, and you're pulling them back in. I liked it enough to do it again the next summer, so it's all good. But
I'm impressed. I had no idea.
There's a great river by you outside of Bakersfield, Kern River.
Yeah, Kern. Yeah.
That's where I went. So, but this life coach I worked with was just focused on the happy part, the ending of how great it's going to feel to see these pictures of, happy Karie in the raft, splashing and having a blast, and how good it's going to feel at the end to tell everybody you did it.
Yes.
That's all I could focus on was the finish line.
So I work with clients too, and I say, oh my God, it's going to be such a long process, and it's just, I got to go through all this, and I always ask them, make your future self hold you accountable. So when you get to that end result in a year or two, or maybe 5 even, how are you going to feel? You are going to have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, what if? What if? That is the scariest thing to me, and I'll tell clients, frankly, you're going to have to answer to yourself in 2 years and wish you had started the day and wish you had done it. And I promise it'll be worth it. We all know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And all of us coaches talk about the journey and enjoy the journey and all that yummy stuff. But if you don't have a really clear picture of what that finish line looks like, which is your why, or even why you're doing what you're doing, you will get stuck in the details. You will be, I'm a golfer, you'll be in the rough. You'll be off there, like totally screwed, going, why am I here again? This is hard.
Yeah, that's what you said, the why, Storms in life are inevitable. There's going to be roadblocks on your journey to achievement of your dreams or your goals. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, But if you know why you want it and you know exactly where you're going, at any cost, you're going to find a way to get around that roadblock. You just will. Rather than, I really don't have a big enough reason, and I know I want this, but, you come across that roadblock and you go, I tried. What?
Yeah.
No, you got to, build a foundation, know why you want it. Think about how amazing it's going to feel when you finally get there.
Absolutely. It's so true. You've got to have that clear picture in your head, because there's going to be days that you're going to want to give up. Lots of them.
Always keep that future you in your mind. Always, always, always. I make visions boards. I still do that.
Of course. Hello, yeah. I've got one right by me.
Absolutely. Do you really?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make me get it. No, I'm kidding. No, you need to. I mean, I have like my why. A lot of it's my daughter, other things, you know, and it's always the intangible, obviously, is more important to me than financial success. But it's the memories, it's the relationships, is really, you know, more time with family, things of that nature. Lifestyle is most important to me, making memories. You're talking about, again, about the journey and the destination and staying focused on that destination. Tell us what kind of tips do you have for us? Because sometimes we can jump ahead too much. Like, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. How to scale back, because some of us are just super driven. I'm one of those people that I've really had to train myself just to be in the fucking moment, Karie, just in this hour. That's it. How do you help your clients with being present and enjoying the journey without getting too anxious? You know, because they want that.
It's so funny because right before we got on this call, I just did a video for my YouTube channel about this exact thing. So I would be happy to answer that question. Dream big. Think smart. Most important thing, I think, is to start small. So we have these, I have this, I talked about when I was a kid, I wanted to change the entire world. I still mean that, and I really want to do that. But it's important to start small. If I have a giant steak in front of me, I'm not going to be able to eat it in one bite. You know, you got to take small bites, and eventually steak is going to be in your belly, right? So dream big, swing for the fences. Your limits are only, or your dreams are only as limited as your imagination. Really, if you can fulfill it. Think smart. By that, you don't even have to know how to do it at first, but you have to be willing to learn. You have to surround yourself with people that want to help you. You have to read books. You have to, whatever it takes to learn. Think smart. Third step, start small. That's the most important thing, because we get so overwhelmed. I want to be a real estate mogul, right? And it's not gonna happen overnight. So I can't allow myself to say, oh, it didn't happen overnight or even this year, so I give up. We have to have little goals on the way to get there. So every little goal we achieve, that's going to feel good for us. It feels amazing. Build that map. Have these little kind of treasures that you get to on the way to that big treasure. That's how you enjoy the journey.
I love it. So dream big, think smart, start small.
Start small.
Got it.
Start small. Yeah.
Not too small?
Well, no. Start. Just take the first step.
Take the first fucking bite.
That giant mountain in front of you. You can easily. Yes. Oh, that is overwhelming. But what happens when you just start from one foot in front of the other? Eventually, you're going to make it up the top of that mountain. And we talked about roadblocks. You might encounter some roadblocks and whatever. And if the reason you want to get to the top of that mountain is big enough, you're going to find a way to get around those roadblocks.
Absolutely.
I don't know what kind of roadblocks to be on a mountain, but you get what I'm saying.
Sometimes we make roadblocks.
Yeah, our limiting beliefs.
Yep, we manifest roadblocks. Oh, where did that giant gaping hole come from?
Right.
How do I get around that?
Right.
Yeah. How come, what is your experience with that, sabotage and success? Because I have it too, of course, where I can feel when my clients are holding themselves back, and I can teach them and coach the shit out of them, but when they're holding themselves back from great things, it's very frustrating as a coach, is to be on the sidelines, being their cheerleader. Any tips or anything you can help us with that?
Well, when you're committed to something so great, no matter how big it is, when you're committed to that, you can't allow yourself to, like you said, stand on the sidelines. You just can't. I mean, we oftentimes have a tendency to project the worst possible case scenario on things. We overthink things, and it just starts to get into our head, and we go, oh, no, like, if I do that, this could happen. Reality of the situation, you know this just as well as I do, probably not going to happen. The odds of that happening, the worst case scenario, hardly ever. Hardly ever. So it goes back to kind of holding your future self accountable. I'll oftentimes ask clients to write their obituary, which is an incredibly powerful tool. This will happen usually in the first session I work with them. Write your obituary. Write 2 of them. What happens if you continue the life that you're doing now? And what happens if you live the life that you have, your great dreams? And more often than not, I will have clients, if they're doing it right, they tell me that they cried writing it. Mm-hmm. What an immensely powerful thing to be on your deathbed and just, I'm getting chills, just to be on your deathbed and seeing your dreams just kind of looking at you and saying like, you didn't fulfill us, you didn't do this, you always said what if. You always said what if, and you never, oh well is much better than what if, we all know that. We just don't think about it enough, I think.
I lied. I said I was doing okay, and then you had to go and say that. Where's the tissues? I'm kidding.
Are you going to go write your obituary right now?
That's right. I was doing okay.
Oh my God, no!
I had a hard weekend. Be nice to me.
Finish the show, and then we'll do a coaching session afterwards.
That's right. I'll email you my obituary.
Oh my God, that would be incredible.
So write two. So the one is if kind of like the path they're on now, or the path they want to choose. Kind of like one that they want, and one by default. Kind of is how you.
Yeah, what happens if I'm on my deathbed and I say, this is the life that I live, the path that I'm going down right now. There's not one person watching this right now that's going to say, yeah, that felt good to not live my dreams. I'm glad I didn't live my dreams. Or I'm glad I didn't pursue them. Nobody's going to say that. Not one of us. Nobody's watching this is going to say that. And the whole point of that is to put yourself in that position, your legacy, where you're going to be, when you're gone. What's your legacy going to be? How are you going to feel on your deathbed? I mean, it's a difficult question to ask yourself, but it's so important. A full, rich life is hard questions are necessary sometimes, and that's what I like doing. Yeah.
I do think of it often, which is why I chose, I got in the coaching industry back in 2005 and kind of did a snake journey back into it, out of it, and back into it, just kept finding me. I swear it chose me. But I do think of that. Like, what legacy am I leaving? What will someone say at my, funeral? What eulogy will they write? Just that kind of stuff goes through my head a lot.
So can I put you on the spot?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask you, what do you think, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well,
am I allowed to ask you questions?
You're allowed. I'll kill you after we hit record. I'll come find you. No, by all means, I'm just naturally an inspiring person. It's always been who I am. I'm like you. If someone doesn't smile or laugh after my presence has left the room, I feel like I didn't do my job. So with me, I just want people to see their true power. I want to expose what they're really capable of doing and unleash that. So, I hope to leave enough of an imprint, some type of footprint into this planet, before I leave into whatever else is out beyond the spiritual world. But, it's a tough one to say. It just keeps going. That's why I want to leave books behind, videos, content, education. I don't want to think that everything I've been through in life was in vain. I want to share my mistakes with others so they can obviously live and hopefully avoid some of the speed bumps I've encountered in my own life. So, that's again why I'm writing the book I am. It's very vulnerable. It's very, very graphic. But, I didn't go through it just for fun. Who else can I help along the way? So I hope to leave enough behind, just so that Karie's always remembered for the good, obviously. The inspiration piece is neat.
That was incredibly beautiful. Wow.
That's the short version.
Well, I'm kind of excited to read this book, by the way. I get to read it.
Oh, man. It doesn't start out pretty, but, it goes back 7 years ago, and I left and walked away from everything, which I think emailed you a little bit about. Walked away from 5 properties and a husband and everybody I knew and took off 2,000 miles away to Vegas to find myself, literally. So you're
coming out of that much better than before, right?
I'm way out of it, I hope. It was 7 years ago.
It's a scary concept to put that much change in your life. You said 5 properties and a husband. That's such a scary thing for anybody. It's scary. So much change at once is such a overwhelming concept. But now you're sitting here, we're talking, you're just so radiant. You seem very, very much happy.
Yeah, I'm nothing like that person 7 years ago, but I did have tunnel vision. It's just, you do. It was, I must do this. I don't know why I'm doing it. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. My family's disowned me. She's lost her mind. I'm a pastor's kid that's divorcing her husband and moving to Sin City. I'm literally.
Oh wow.
Wow. And then one of my first jobs is posing in the desert in lingerie. They're like, really? Oh my God, she's going straight to hell.
I didn't know your first jobs.
Yeah, those are in the book too.
What is the website that I find this?
Yes, the Kindle version has pictures. It's not about that. It's about the fact that I swung the pendulum from what everyone thought I should be like to finding the true Karie. Obviously, I swung the pendulum as far as I could. I'm back on balance again. But when you live in that perfectionist identity in the Midwest of I must marry this person because dad will like him, I must go to this church because dad will approve, I must be this type of person, it's the right thing to do this, and you're not living for your true self, and I snapped. I lost Karie.
What an incredible freedom that must have been to just...
Yeah. Very liberating.
Very much, I would imagine, yeah. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to read the book. I'm really excited. Wow.
And the skydives and all the sun flights are in there too.
Awesome. Oh my
Part
God.
of the journey.
Great.
We all have bulletproof armor on. We just choose not to wear it sometimes. We really are all bulletproof is kind of the mindset around it. Is fear is only what you make of it. How much you feed it, is the key thing. I've been almost homeless to, making hundreds of $1,000s a month to all over the place. So I can talk about it all. So I know what I'm made of.
I know, I can tell. You're a very strong woman. Wow.
Yeah. Yes, and just not this past weekend. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
That's right. There was a blood moon and a lunar eclipse. There was all sorts of shit in the atmosphere I was feeling.
Did you see the lunar eclipse?
Yes, I did. I always stay up to watch it.
Yeah, me too. Wow. Yeah, I did. Oh.
I have to. One time I woke up my daughter because she's 11. She just turned 11. She goes, Mom, wake me up. This was the one prior to this one. So in the middle of the night, we're like standing outside in our bathrobes, and she's just in heaven. She's half awake because it's like 3, 4 in the morning. And she's just like, I feel so bad, Mommy, for all the people that are sleeping and missing this right now. Of course, in her head, it's like, this only happens once every 1,000 years, right, Mom? I'm like, no.
Well, most people miss it their whole life.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about the nature aspect, because you're one of those people. I mean, that's like my church when I get right into the zone of life. So you like to truly check out too. Talk about how important that is to you, getting into the nature zone.
I'm most at home in the ocean or in the mountains, frankly. I mean, there's nothing like having your phone off and just getting lost. I went a few weeks ago with, surfing, obviously not taking your phone. There's nothing you're just in this meditative state with nature, the energy of the ocean, you and that. In the mountains, me and some friends went hiking about 3 weeks ago, and we just went deep into the Angeles forest, and we found this beautiful waterfall. There's no campsites there, so we just pitched our tent, and I was very adamant about setting up the tent so I'd open it the next morning and there'd be the waterfall right in front of me, and I'll tell you, it was an incredible night. There's no cell service out there, and we were all just surrounding each other, telling stories. One friend started reading Walt Whitman. There was a full moon that night, actually, with the coyotes in the distance, the frogs, the waterfall, the soundscapes. No music, nobody on their phone, just telling stories, connecting. And I came back, and that was only 2 days, and I came back from that just so energized, just so incredibly energized. And I would recommend anybody do that. We're so connected to these. If there's not an outlet around us, we freak out, and that's so unfortunate, And I'm guilty of that too sometimes, But it's just so important to get away and do that. So important. I was in one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. While we're on the subject of nature, I was just in Iceland in December, and since I was a kid, I've just been on this path of just fulfilling lifelong dreams lately. And I went to Iceland by myself, negative 14 degrees, snowing. I was on this beach. I wanted to see the Northern Lights since I was a kid. And I was on this beach, and I waited there for 3 hours, nothing. And I was just getting ready to get up and go, and just green across the entire sky for an hour, just like that. And it just blew me away. I mean, it was incredible. And I came back from that. I mean, that still affects me thinking about that. You just have to allow yourself to be in those moments. You really have to put yourself out there. And there's great books on the subject. I've even written about it on my website. You know how much of a fan of this concept I am. Just getting out there and just being with yourself. No distractions. Just being with Mother Earth and you. And that's it. That's it.
We are so connected. I'm super guilty. My past boyfriend would take me, I think, to places on purpose where we didn't get a signal just so I would unplug. Right. He's like, yes, no signal here. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there goes my power. I can't live. I can't function. But it's not the end of the world.
What happens when you get home and you turn on your phone? You have, there's emails and there's text messages and phone calls. But guess what? We take care of it. No big deal. It's like it never happened. We don't need to constantly be on our phone. I'll do that often. Is now I'm at the point where sometimes you just kind of get overwhelmed with emails and stuff, and you just leave my phone at home, and I come back in 5 or 6 hours, and guess what? Life goes on. It's not a big deal. It's never a big deal. Never. What did people do 25 years ago or 20 years ago before cell phones? You know? What do we do?
I don't think it was 20 years ago, was it? I'm trying to remember my first cell phone.
Okay, you had a cell phone in 95? Were they around?
Damn.
Wow.
I think so. I had a car phone in 97.
Oh my
One
God.
of those plug-in battery packs.
Car phones.
Oh, God, help us. And they stay in the car. Maybe come with you shopping.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Nobody died. It's all good, you know, and that's part of it too. Is you'll catch up with them and they'll understand. I encourage my clients to do the same thing. It's balance, you know. Like one of my rules on Sundays is the laptop just doesn't get opened. If you send me an email, great. I'm not going to reply. You know, it's got to be pretty important for me to stop Sunday afternoon to connect with you real quick.
Yeah.
It's family day in my head, so it's all good. I like that. So unplug in nature, and
I wrote about it. There's a blog on my website. It's called Disconnecting into Nature, I think.
okay.
I wrote a bit about that. I'm very passionate about the subject. So.
Me too. And I know when I don't do it for a while, it's like I'm a bitch. It's time to unplug. Like you're like your bandwidth is done. I'm going. I feel the energy going out too much. It's time to rejuvenate, fill myself back up.
Mm-hmm.
On 4th of July last year, everyone was running to parties. I went up the mountain and hiked up a hike I knew no one would be on by myself in a rainstorm. You know, it's like,
Yes.
see you. It was the best 4th of July ever.
Did you watch fireworks from there?
I came down in time to see them at night, but you know,
Yes, you couldn't see
it was a really strange 4th of July in Las Vegas. They actually had flooding. We never get rain, and there was flooding on 4th of July, but we still had the fireworks, yes. But I knew because I could see everyone coming down the mountain, and I was the only car going up. I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna have my favorite trail to myself.
Great. Yeah.
I'm one of those crazies. Don't come up on me while I'm hiking. I'm like singing and got the earbuds in.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Scaring all the mountain lions away. Oh, here comes that crazy lady again.
That's great.
It's all good. So I know it's time for a hike. You know, like when I'm at my lowest points, like I need to refuel.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And everyone has a different way. Obviously, some people aren't into nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just finding that outlet to just unplug and be still. Now, what really happens when you allow that time to be alone? You know, I always say we're our best inner psychic, but you tune that voice out all the time with stuff.
Yes.
So what kind of epiphanies or anything that's come up for you when you unplug?
Well, so like, if I'm having a moment, like especially in this day and age, if I'm having a moment where I'm starting to think about things and, oh, my Facebook just went off, like I better check that. You know what I mean? I'm not allowing myself to get real sad, and I'm not really allowing myself to get real happy either. So in nature, well, obviously there's something about being in the wilderness and just being out there with nothing else but you and nature. But to allow yourself to be mindful with no distractions and to think these thoughts and just kind of be in your own head and be present like that, you know, is hugely important. I'm sure anybody would agree with that. I'm sure anybody would.
I'm sure you've noticed this with clients. I always notice this as a red flag when they're afraid to be alone. What are they running from? So they're keeping themselves with so many distractions. They're manifesting resistance and other things around them from actually making any changes in their life. And I'm just as guilty. I'm like, okay, what am I distracting myself with these days? That needs to go. You know, get that off my plate because something's, you know, I'm pushing what I really need to hear today, you know, kind of off. And
so it's a conscious decision for you then.
Mm-hmm. And I've noticed it too with certain clients that can't be alone. They have that fear to being alone. They always need somebody by them, or they need their phone, or their, you know, that connection, and always social media or whatever. And they're running from something, you know. And it's once you find out what that is, that's where the healing gets to show up.
Absolutely.
Take some changes.
I think that's a good point too. I mean, you disconnect for a couple days, or even a week, and you come back and you have these great ideas and you have a better understanding of who you are and where you want to go. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
I think it's awesome advice for anyone that's going through life challenges is just unplug. Even if you have to take a staycation and go to a hotel in your own hometown, whatever it is that you like to do,
Yeah.
just get out of your environment for a couple days.
You don't need a passport to travel to exotic places.
Nope. You can go next door. Like I just go to your state often. It's got everything I want, mountains and water.
Right, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, definitely.
Best state to play in. It's nice and close. I could drive to everything. Perfect. So tell us as we wrap up today, Travis, how people can find you, how they can work with you. You know, are you taking clients? Kind of give us the insight of how that works.
Yeah. My website, travisbartonlife.com. There's a contact page where you can sign up for my newsletter, and also personally email me. I check every single email I get personally. Happy to do so. And whether it's on Twitter, I'm on Twitter and Instagram too. I check everything personally. I make a habit of doing that and doing my best to respond to all of that. So, you know, if you're interested in coaching or even just want to say hi or tell me a story or anything like that, I will check it and I'll get back to you, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're sleeping next to a waterfall.
Give me a couple days. Yeah, give me a couple days at least. That's a promise, though. I'll get back to you.
I like to tell the world I'm off the grid. I have to almost say that because I do come back to where the hell is Karie?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I wish there was like an outgoing email, so when it sends you an email, or when you get an email and you're off the grid, you could just get an email, like an automatic something to send them back. Say, I'm off the grid, I'll get back to you in 48 hours.
That's right. We cannot find him on Google Maps anywhere.
Right? Yes. Absolutely.
He's off. No, it's good stuff. You have a group program coming on up in June. Talk about that with me. I'm excited to see that. I saw it on, I think, Instagram, where you had a layout of all kinds. You've been working on this too, so this is your baby that you're releasing to us. So share, please.
This is my passion project. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited for it to finally come out. I've been working on it for over a year, and it started off as something so small. It was just such a small concept, and I began working with an assistant, and it just grew into this epic thing. I mean, just completely. Obviously, it took over a year to do, and it's talk about sleepless nights and really working for nothing. You know, you're working for this passion project, and you're not making any money on it. You know, but it's such a passion. You wake up early, you go to bed late, and basically, it comes out June 22nd. It's called The Extraordinary Life. Pre-orders start June 1st, and we're going to basically, it's a 2-month course. We're going to run through the 5 components that make up what I call an extraordinary life, which is mind, which is, you know, happiness, spirituality, body, which is nutrition and fitness, heart, which is relationships, sex life, riches, finances, career, adventure, which is one of my favorite, travel, getting out of your comfort zone, play, fun. And we will set goals and we'll define them, and we're going to work through it by means of bringing about balance of your life as well through those 5 areas.
I love it. Those are the 5 best spots to be in. The 5 G spots.
That would have been good. I should have named them after G's. Oh, I got to rework it all.
I know. Sorry.
Oh, man.
The subscribers that would be flooding to you.
Yeah, right? The marketing for that could have been amazing.
I think I embarrass my clients because everything I talk about when it comes to marketing is always sex related. I'm like, don't show them everything, just show them a nipple. You know, it's like they're like, oh my God, Karie. Like, hey, that's marketing. You know, you got to put your flair out there.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's good. I'm gonna write that down. Don't show them everything.
Just show a nipple.
Right? Okay.
Just one.
Just one. Oh, not both. Not both. Okay. All right.
Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no filter, and it's my show, so I can say whatever I want.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wow, I love it.
Can't have a filter and be a coach at the same time. You can sweeten it up a little bit, but you definitely need to be raw with your clients. Otherwise,
absolutely,
you don't get results if you're not kind of raw with them. So you're not paying you to be their friend.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're not paying me to hang out with you and come up here and tell you, just give you a pat on the back every time you're doing something wrong.
That's right. You know? Good job. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, it'll be okay.
That's right. No, go get a therapist for that. If you want change, hire a coach. If you want to whine all day, hire a therapist. That's pretty much my opinion.
Is that what you say? Is that Can I attribute that quote to you?
Yes.
All right, that's going on my Twitter today.
Yep. If you want to stay a victim, hire a therapist. I mean, it's true. They just sit in that shit all day and talk about it and stay there. There's no tools to move forward. I've had my share of therapists, and I'm like, yeah, that was great. And I started coaching my therapist how to coach me and help me. I was like, all right, I'm done. I've done my research here. I was proven right. You guys suck. That's not for all therapists.
Therapy's more involved in the past and
Yes, it's all rear view thinking. Yeah, it's all in the rear view.
The beautiful thing about coaching is you're moving forward. It's all about the future, where you want to go, and how to get there. That's what excites me for sure.
Yep. I always say the windshield's the biggest piece of glass for a reason. The rear view mirror's this teeny tiny mirror. Should be looking at that so much, just enough to see where the fuck you were, and now let's move forward.
I like that. That's good. I'm gonna write that one down again. Keep going to my Twitter today.
You will get a copy of the recording. It's all good. You don't have to write like a mad.
Awesome.
Well, we're going to wrap up today. It's been a pleasure having Travis on my show today. Hope he's inspired you guys to find solutions in your situation and to look him up. I mean, for real, this guy is all over social media. You can't miss him. So, I mean, he's always got great posts, especially on Instagram. I see all of his great inspirational messages. He really does live what he preaches, which is the whole epicness of being a life coach. You've got to be one. You've got to be that life, to attract the right kind of people in and be that inspiration for others. So Travis, thank you for today. Guys, check him out. I will include a link into the body of this YouTube video, so you can go right to Travis's page and connect with him directly if you're interested in his program. He does start taking pre-orders on June 1st, 2015. So thank you so much, Travis.
Thank you.
And just a last shout out, it's his birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday.
I thought you forgot I was going to. Okay.
Yeah, I don't forget shit.
Big 3-0.
Yep, the Dirty 30. He shows up tomorrow. Dirty 30. Yay! So happy birthday.
Thank you.
May it be your best year ever. So good stuff. Good stuff. So we will sign off, guys. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.